Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with this week's Wednesday Wisdom guest. But as always, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Longtime listeners, and this is not news to you, but for newcomers, these are all companies that I used as an athletic director. They're all great companies. I highly recommend that you check them out. So take 3 minutes, listen to our shout outs, then listen to our Wednesday Wisdom guest, and then go and visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. We'd like to thank our great friends at Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards or your school's Hall of Fame, go to their website and take a look at their interactive touchscreen video consoles. You put one of their units in your gym lobby or your main school hallway, it's going to be a magnet for kids, for coaches. How about sponsors and alumni? Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. You're going to be glad you did. We want to say thank you to Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years. As an AD, I made sure we were a Huddle school. And if you go to huddle.com, you can join the 8 million users and turn your school into a Huddle school. That's huddle.com. We also want to thank Home Campus. Home Campus is the official sports administration software platform for a number of states, thousands of ADs. And even if your school has a different platform for the state, you can be a home campus school. I'm telling you, the athletic clearance platform alone is a game changer. Go to homecampus.com for more information. We want to say thanks to Snap Raise. If you've ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results, those days are over. Go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school. Tremendous success, and so will you. The website is snapraise.com. Check out all their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it. We'd like to say thank you to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and let their team turn you into a social media marketing guru. It can be small social media posts to celebrate great victories. It can be an entire newsletter that showcases all the great things your department's doing. Either way, the Gipper team will have you up and running in no time. It's professional graphic design made easy. Go to Gipper.com. Don't forget to mention the podcast. We also want to say thanks to our good friends at Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. I've said many times, our Sideline Interactive indoor score table is probably the best purchase I ever made. Go to sidelineinteractive.com to get started. We want to thank Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. My assistant AD, along with thousands of others, got his master's through the Ohio program and it was a great experience. And in addition to the master's, they also complete 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Go to Ohio University and check out their online masters in athletic administration. We want to thank our good friends at Hometown. Whether you're an AD, a principal, or a coach, Hometown is changing the game with their suite of solutions that includes things like fee-free fundraising. Of course, there's digital ticketing. How about athletic website construction? There's a whole lot more. Go to hometown.com. They're going to show you how you can save time, raise more money, and bring your community together. That's hometown.com. We also want to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. At my school, we use surveys for everything. Kids, coaches, parents, and the information that would come back is almost always over the top positive. We also got to hear from those squeaky wheel parents, but we got to hear their concerns, usually address them, keep them from turning into something big. But having that positive data, very valuable, especially when you're meeting with your principal or maybe even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. Don't forget to mention the podcast. Let them create a survey that's going to help you take your athletic program from good to great. That's athleticsurveys.com. Welcome back, everybody, to another Wednesday Wisdom segment on the Educational AD Podcast. Longtime listeners are going to recognize the name Candice Fabry. If you're new to the podcast, Candice has an incredible background in athletics as a college athlete, as a very successful college and professional coach. She's also the founder of her own platform, Fearless and Capable. And recently, in the past couple of months, she took on a new position as the championships manager for the NAIA. We're going to hear about all of that and more, but Candice Fabry, welcome back to Wednesday Wisdom.
Yeah, thank you. I always enjoy these opportunities to speak with you and your audience. So thank you again for having me back and excited to kind of share some of the updates of what's going on. So you
Oh,
want
no,
to learn more?
yeah, absolutely. And again, listeners, if you've missed Candace's previous segment, she had a full interview back when we first connected, when she was, still, like I said, a college and a professional soccer coach. But great resource. Again, her platform, Fearless and Capable. We're going to give out all that information. But Candace, why don't you give everybody a little bit of an update of what you're doing now?
Yeah, Fearless and Capable is still going. I still work with teams and individuals, uh, career mentorship, mental performance mentorship, and guidance. Just really a belief in helping sport to be experienced, better holistically, in a number of ways for particularly women. I tend to help and support women most often and young girls, but really anybody and everybody. So I've got a vast network with Fearless and Capable through support and resources that I've created and used. So Fearless and Capable is always a steady way to branch out and be one, growing my own knowledge and capabilities, but then also being able to support others that are working in the industry. So that's always there. But took a little bit of an inventory, which I'll kind of get to today with my Wednesday wisdom of what my life needed. And coaching has always been near and dear to what I love to do, but things needed to shift, priorities needed to shift a little bit, and had an opportunity with NAIA to go into this championship manager role, and which also brought me some more time at home with my kids. A little less travel, a little less recruiting, but also shifted into working with administrators, athletic directors, with commissioners of conferences, and just different people that I wasn't on more of a regular basis working with. And so as a championship manager now, I am helping to run national championships for the NAIA, but also helping to operate sports on a yearly basis and helping with legislation and rules and policies and committees to try to help make sports run in a more efficient way for a lot of different, we get assigned different sports, but I get a lot of different access points to a lot of different stakeholders, and particularly in NAIA for the small colleges. And so it's really been a unique opportunity. It is challenging. It is a lot of different skill sets that either I have to bring back from previous roles, but also things that I've had to learn. So from a personal experience, it's been really interesting. I have right now currently run the bowling national championship. I am really, besides taking my kids to the bowling alley and, maybe personally wanting to put the bumpers up because I'm not that great of a bowler. That was, the limit of my experience. And I had a great time getting to run the bowling national championship, and then got to run the NAI World Series in Lewiston, Idaho, which is been out in Lewiston for 20 plus years, a storied history that has been out there, and it just has so much behind it. Just, just like you think of Omaha being so connected to the Division One, Lewiston is connected to the NAI baseball history. So it was just a very fun, unique experience to be a part of. There was a 59-0 team that won, and so a perfect season for
I bet.
the champion. Yeah, so just cool witnessing that history being made right in front of me. So I get to run the women's soccer national championship. So for me, being soccer, that's near and dear to my heart. And then men's wrestling, I'll get to run. So again, there's a lot of different parts I'm going to be involved with. I'll be on the road a little bit, but I get to be home a little bit more, and which brings just different facets of my life that I get to reach into a little bit more. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. So if you're in the NAI world, I may be coming across you in a different way that I might have not ever before. So I'm excited.
Wow, very cool stuff. You mentioned bowling. I got to share my bowling experience. Years ago, I was at a junior college coaching, and I was also teaching those activity classes. And we had this 3-week January unit. It was bowling. And I can bowl straight. I'm 140-ish or so,
Yeah.
but we were supposed to teach, bowling with, the hook. And so
Hmm.
I've got that book, how to teach it. But long story short, I never threw a ball once during class. I would just show the
Yeah.
techniques, have them do it. Okay, yeah, it's pretty good. And the,
Mm.
the students, they'd be going, hey, coach, let's bowl with us. Let's see if we can beat you. I
Yeah.
said, nah, you don't want any part of me. But so again,
Yeah.
you gotta be able to, I'm sure you did the same thing, have that
Yeah.
strong, confident image. Okay.
Yeah, it was great. I learned so much though. I'll be honest, like I was just a sponge. I wanted to learn so much about what the techniques were and the coaching tactics and just how it all runs. I mean, at heart, I'm a competitor. I love learning how people compete and how they learn to win and how things operate. So for me, it's just been eye-opening, and so it's really truly been really fun, but just also challenging, which I think I needed. I was at that point in life where something needed to come along that just totally took me in a different direction, and this definitely has. So it's been fun and refreshing in different ways. So
Well, again, that's a tremendous variety. Bowling, baseball, wrestling.
yeah.
I'm sure you get a warm fuzzy when you're doing the soccer, but very cool stuff. Well, thanks for the update. We're going to give out all that contact information, at the end of the segment here. But um, what do you have for our listeners this week from a Wednesday wisdom perspective?
Yeah. So for me, you think summer for a lot of us that are working, particularly within the school system, the academic year, this is our break. And so from my side, I know we're doing a lot of thoughts of, okay, what's the next year going to encompass? What do we want it to, be? What do we want to get out of it? So we do this inventory of, what do we have and what do we need to stockpile? What do we need to bring in? And so one area that I have continued to work on with athletes, with people I mentor and guide, is this motivation inventory. And what I mean by that is you look at the things that you're doing, the pieces of you, and you start to kind of take that inventory of why are you doing it? And it's really meant to be motivational and inspiring to you because it's supposed to be personal. And so you're going to start, and there's ways to do this through, there's online, very intrinsic and extrinsic motivation tests that you can take, but you can also just do this very simply. So you start with statement prompts that are things that you identify. So your key identifiers, like personally, I teach if you're a teacher, personally, I coach if you're a coach, or personally, I'm an athletic director, whatever it may be. Or personally, I work out. So something that takes up time. Personally, I cook for my family. Things that take up or you enjoy doing. Okay. And you're just going to start with those things that personally you do or personally are part of your identity. And then you're going to start with a few other prompts of maybe things you want to continue to do or want to add to what your daily schedule is or what you're wanting to add. So, personally, I want to read more. That's a statement prompt. Or personally, I want to spend more time with friends, could be part of it. Or even personally, I want to travel more. So, you're going to put these prompts in front of you. And with those prompts, I then encourage you to start putting those reasons behind it. And, personally, I teach could be because working with children fulfills me, right? Or personally, I work out because I feel better about myself when I work out. Or I personally, I work out because it gives me energy. Or I cook for my family because I enjoy, the nourishment I give my family, or enjoy, the time I get to take to find new recipes. And really, it's about figuring out what is giving you the motivation intrinsically, extrinsically in that. There's no right or wrong. I just encourage you not to use negative words in this. Even when you get to the things you want to do more, right? And you might say, personally, I want to work out more and I don't want to be, I don't want to be fat. Don't do those things. Personally, I want to work out more because I want more energy. And you want to go towards those things that give you statements that encourages you more, that has that uplifting feeling, so that when you look at these statements And this inventory of the things that are giving you motivation towards the things you already are, or the things you want to do more of, or the things you want to continue to do, you now have these statements that you can maybe start to place in important parts in your life. It could be in your phone. It could be a statement you want to place on your computer, or maybe in a classroom if you have it, on a notepad somewhere. Anywhere where these statements could potentially have a personal impact on you in your daily life. And, affirmations are a great one. This is where some affirmations can come from, are these motivational inventories that take place that you actually do that come from these statements that you can make. So it just starts with those prompts of personally, some identifiers. Personally, I teach, or personally, I coach, or personally, I work out, I read, whatever, or personally, I want to do this more, or personally, I continue to do this. And then finish those prompts, as many things as you can add that are personal to why you choose to do that. And stay in the positive, and then use those statements, use those words to create this inventory of all the motivational things intrinsically and extrinsically that give you those good feelings to kind of take into hopefully your next year, or that next step, that next plan, whatever it may need that you need to kind of take on the next challenge, the next month, the next day, whatever it may be. So when you're kind of feeling blue, you pull out that inventory, or when you're trying to maybe motivate yourself or others, that inventory is always kind of a good book, or a good idea to kind of pull out. You can also do it with a group of people too, when you need that boost of confidence. So motivational inventory is what I'm going to suggest for your Wednesday wisdom.
Well, as you're listing, the parameters of it, I just, and you addressed it. You don't want people to put down negative items, but it's such an easy trap to fall into.
Right.
And we tell our kids all the time, from a coaching standpoint, I'm sure you did this, about, having the positive thoughts, the positive
Mm-hmm.
outcomes, positive mental focus. I mean, it sounds kind of Captain Obvious, but this is kind of your area. Is there a special technique that people can use that's going to help them, avoid falling into that, negative, the doom
Yeah.
loop?
So the doom loop, I say, one, would you say it to a best friend? If your best friend said that statement to themselves, would you say, don't say that to yourself? Like, if you would look at your teammate and go, that's not cool, like, don't tell yourself that, then don't tell yourself that. Like, if you wouldn't let your friend do that, don't do it to yourself. That's usually one thing. Two, I am always a fan of neutral mindset. So if you can't stay in the positive, can you stay neutral? So I personally want to work out more because I know working out will give me a sense of progress. That's not overly positive, right? I'm not going to feel great in energy, but I'm going to give myself a sense of progress. I might not feel it, I might not look it, I might not look slimmer, but I'm going to get a sense of progress, and there can be a neutrality to it. So it doesn't always have to be this everything's fluffy and great, but you can stay a little bit more neutral. So if you wouldn't let your best friend or teammate or colleague say that to themselves, don't say it to yourself is my first tip. And then second tip is you can stay neutral. You don't have to go overly fluffy positive. You can stay a little bit more towards the middle of the ground. Just don't get too negative, because if you're starting to get down that road, you're just going to see that go. And then the whole activity is tanked and all your motivation is just going to be drained. And the whole idea is to fill that tank, not drain it.
Right. No, I love the best friend, application. And you mentioned drain, circling the drain. We don't want, we certainly don't want to go there. And even you mentioned in your progress or in your workout, you said I can make progress. Well, progress is positive,
Yeah.
so very cool stuff.
How,
Uh,
yeah, it's how you look at it. It's all how you look at it and the mindset of it. And I think for some people, when you're trying to figure out what the reasons are, sometimes it's just listing it out, and it might just be because my kids want me to, or somebody's encouraging me to. And, maybe that's sometimes the first thing is somebody else is encouraging you to do it. And that's why you start. It's not
oh,
the
I love it.
worst. Yeah.
Great, great stuff as always. Candice, if one of our listeners wanted to, follow up, reach out, add you to their network,
Mhm.
or just find out more about the services and resources that you have available. And listeners, this is a tremendous resource. How would they get in touch with you?
You can follow or reach out on my website, fearlessandcapable.com. My email address, Candice at fearlessandcapable.com. Or you can find me mainly on Instagram at Candice Fabry or at Fearless and Capable. So, yeah, go ahead and hit those up. And I would love to connect and find ways to support, assist however I can, and learn more about what's going on in your world. And if there's anything I can do to assist, and if it's just to connect, learn more, I'm all for it.
Well, uh, hopefully there's going to be an NAI championship in my area. I know the national track was in Mobile, Alabama a while back.
It was.
Hopefully we can maybe cross paths there. But
Yeah.
thanks for sharing with our listeners. All the best moving forward. And you got a little bit of summer left. Hope you have a great rest of the summer.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
For our listeners, we appreciate you and just want to remind you that we upload the Zoom recordings of every interview to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do Wednesday Wisdom just about every week and just about every day. We try to share stories from the world of athletics along with some best practices. So come back and join us again on the next Educational AD Podcast. Thanks again. Hey, before we go, as always, we want to thank our great sponsors. These are companies that I used as an athletic director. You should be using them too. I want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys, thanks to Hometown. I want to thank Ohio University. My assistant AD got his master's from Ohio University. Check it out. Home Campus, Sideline Interactive, Huddle, Gipper, Vital Signs Wall of Fame, and Snap Race. Again, check out every single one of these companies. If you're not using them, you should be. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD.